There lived a very handsome and intelligent man called Ekene. His parents were very poor, so Ekene dropped out of school at a very tender age because he had no money to pay his school fees. Since Ekene couldn't go to school, he decided to learn a very good trade from a wealthy chief, very wealthy chief called Okafor. Chief Okafor was a very well-known importer and exporter of foodstuff in a very popular market. Ekene and his parents discussed with Chief Okafor, and they all agreed that Ekene would be his apprentice for 8 long years, after which Chief Okafor would give him a huge amount of money to start his own business. So Ekene started working for Chief Okafor. Unlike other people who worked for Chief Okafor, Ekene was very honest and upright. So Chief Okafor loved him so much, but his peers, who also worked for Chief Okafor, hated him with passion because Ekene was too honest in their opinion. Whenever Ekene caught any of them trying to steal from Chief Okafor, he would report them to Chief Okafor. Many people learning the trade from Chief Okafor have been sent back to their families because of Ekene's honesty, and so they all disliked him. When Ekene was in his 7th year with Chief Okafor, his peers decided to teach him a very big lesson for always trying to implicate and expose them for their shady business. And so they stole a huge amount of foreign currency from Chief Okafor's briefcase and planted it in Ekene's bag. The next day, when Chief Okafor started looking for his money, he asked all his workers, including Ekene, if they had seen his money, but everyone denied seeing the chief's money. Chief Okafor pleaded with all of them to return his money because it did not belong to him. It was for a very important business partner. But everyone insisted that they hadn't seen the money. Out of anger, Chief Okafor called the police, and when the police came, they searched the whole house and the bags of the workers. Ekene was shocked when they searched his bag and brought out a few bundles of hard currencies. He was very confused, but Chief Okafor was very disappointed in Ekene. He didn't believe it at first, but the evidence was obvious. Ekene pleaded with the chief and promised him that he didn't steal the money. "Please, chief, I didn't steal your money. You know me, I have never taken anything that doesn't belong to me in my life. If I would steal from you, why would I take the risk when it is almost time for me to start my own business? Maybe that was why you stole the money, because you wanted to add it to the money I would give to you to start up your own business when our agreement finally comes to an end. No, I can never do such a thing. I will be content with whatever you give me. Please, chief, believe me. Over the past years I've been with you. No, I am not that kind of person. You know, if it was someone else, I would have sent them to jail for double-crossing me. But because of your sincerity towards me in the past, I will forgive you. But from now on, you are no longer my worker, and I, Chief Okafor, owe you nothing." Ekene went on his knees with tears and started pleading with Chief Okafor. "Please, my mother and father are dependent on me. It has been 7 long years. I can't go back to the village just the way I came. Please have mercy on me, Chief, please." Chief Okafor turned a deaf ear to his tears and chased him out of the house. The other workers were very happy at the outcome of their conspiracy because there was no one to monitor or expose them anymore. Ekene left Chief Okafor's house with the few clothes he had. He was homeless and had nowhere to go. He equally didn't want to go back to the village, so he started sleeping under the bridge in the city of Akonga. Ekene went around Akonga in search of a job, but the salary he was offered was too small to take care of his basic needs because he was a dropout who did not have a degree. One day, Ekene saw some young men of his age on the road hawking plantains. They would run after cars held up in traffic, advertising and convincing the motorists to buy their plantains. After much consideration, Ekene approached one of them and told him his story. Ekene pleaded with him to teach him how to run the business. The man took pity on Ekene and taught him the tricks of the business, and also lent him some money to start the business. It didn't take long before Ekene started buying plantains from local farmers to sell to the motorists on the road. The business was very, very tedious and stressful. Ekene had no choice, so he had to adapt very fast. He was fortunate to make enough profit in some weeks and paid back the man who lent him the money to start the business. The other plantain sellers stayed in one room, so Ekene joined them in the single room and stopped sleeping under the bridge. On one fateful day, Ekene was on the road as usual, chasing after motorists held up in traffic and selling his plantains, when a lady in a very exotic car called on him. Ekene ran to meet her by the window of her car, showing her his plantains. Ekene was very happy. "Hi, Ekene. I would like to buy plantains for 5,000 naira, but I don't have cash on me. Can I make a transfer to you?" Ekene was very happy when he heard the price the woman mentioned. It was enough to cover his targets for the day. He quickly met his fellow plantain seller and collected his bank details. Then he called it out to the lady. The lady told him the money had been sent, but the traffic light was green and the other cars behind Amina's car were honking impatiently on her to move ahead. Ekene trusted Aminat and gave her the plantains worth the price she asked, without confirming if she truly sent the money. All he asked for was her name. When Aminat drove away, Ekene ran to meet his colleague, whose account number he used to receive the money from Aminat. As she sent the money, "Did you receive any notification from your bank?" Ekene asked impatiently, but his colleague still had a lot of plantains to sell in order to meet his targets for the day. So he gave Ekene his phone to check the notification himself while he continued chasing after motorists on the road. Ekene went through the phone's SMS and saw a bank credit notification. He opened the notification and saw the name of the sender, Aminat. But Ekene was shocked when he checked the amount of money Aminat transferred. Instead of 5,000 naira, Aminat mistakenly sent him 50,000 naira. Because she was in a hurry, Ekene became confused. He didn't know what to do. He went to withdraw the money, and at the end of the day, he narrated his experience to fellow plantain sellers. "Guy, I sold a lot of plantains to particular ladies this afternoon, but instead of 5,000 naira, she sent me 50,000 naira. All I know is her name, and I don't know how to contact her." "Did you contact her? Are you mad? God has blessed you with 45,000 naira extra, and you want to return it to her?" "Ekene, how often do you sell 5,000 naira worth of plantains at once in a day? The lady is obviously rich now. I'm sure she doesn't care about the balance. If I were you, I'll keep the money and stop selling on that particular road. I will look for another location so the woman wouldn't find me again. Remember your experience with Chief Okafo. If you had been stealing his money like the others, you wouldn't be here today." Ekene listened to all of them in disbelief. He was trained to be a very honest and transparent man, so he was confused on what to do. He recalled his experience with Chief Okafo, like one of his colleagues said, but he felt it wasn't enough reason for him to become a thief. The next day, Ekene safely placed the balance of 45,000 naira in his pocket and went to the road to sell his plantains. He was hoping to see Aminat again and return the balance. The first day passed, but he didn't see Aminat. The second day and the third day passed equally, but he didn't see her. Ekene started being tempted to spend the money. but he refused to give in to temptation. 3 weeks after, Ekene saw the same car which Aminat drove the day he bought plantains from him. He went closer to the car and was very happy when he saw Aminat seated peacefully inside the car. He knocked on her window, but Aminat refused to wind down. He knocked again and again and again. Then Aminat lowered her window and gestured to him that she wasn't ready to buy buying plantains. Ekene was disappointed that she didn't remember him. But instead of walking away, he reminded her that she bought some plantains from him almost a month ago and mistakenly sent him 50,000 naira instead of 5,000 naira. Then he dipped his hand into his pocket and gave her the balance of 45,000 naira. Aminat couldn't believe what she just experienced. The traffic light was already green, so she parked her car by the roadside and asked Ekene to enter the front seat. "What is your name?" "My name is Ekenema." "And you told me your name is Aminat." "You are right. My name is Aminat. And I remember mistakenly sending someone more money than we bargained, but I felt it was gone. In this country, it is so difficult to find a honest person." "Ah, they are still good people." "I'm not saying I'm a good person, but I was trained to be different. I've been looking for you since that day, but I couldn't find you." "Yes, I traveled out of the country that day for my brother's birthday party, and I recently returned. But I'm curious, why didn't you spend the money when you couldn't find me?" "I couldn't, Aminat, because it isn't mine. I didn't work for it." "Wow, I'm impressed. I would like to know more about you. Are you free right now? I want to take you somewhere." "Well, technically I'm free, but I still have to sell off my plantains to meet my targets for the day." "Okay, check and tell me how many more plantains you need to sell for today." Ekene counted the plantains he held and told her it will cost 4,000 naira only. Aminat counted 10,000 naira cash and gave it to him. Then she took him to a fancy restaurant. After they had finished eating, she told Ekene to tell her about himself. Ekene narrated his life experiences, how he dropped out of school and how he was framed for stealing, how Chief Okafor sent him out of the house, and all of his life experiences in general. Aminat really felt sorry for him, but deep within her, she was already attracted to Ekene. Ekene was a very fine and handsome young man. He had the right height and he was very fit. His voice was captivating and he had a rare personality. She exchanged contact with Ekene and they started communicating very often. The attraction she felt towards Ekene started becoming stronger and stronger, and so she began to treat Ekene very differently. She rented a very nice apartment for him where he stays alone and bought all sorts of appliances in the house for him. Aminat also bought a kiosk where he sold his plantains in the market instead of hawking under the hot sun and chasing motorists in traffic. Ekene started making some money and began sending money home to his parents in the village. One night, Aminat visited Ekene in the apartment she rented for him, and while they were talking, Aminat told Ekene to close his eyes, and then she kissed him deeply. Ekene was surprised, but he didn't push her away. Instead, he held her and kissed her back passionately. That night, they slept with each other, and Aminat told Ekene that she was deeply in love with him. Ekene didn't feel the same way, but he really liked Aminat, and so he lied that he loved her too because of what he was gaining from her.